So here we have one more organic question, and in this question you can see we have been giving cyanobenzene and we are reacting it with, now this structure is beautiful. Sometimes students leave the question by seeing a difficult structure, but if you see closely, this is basically isobutyl group. This is diisobutyl aluminium hydride. And now we know that if I have cyanobenzene and if I am doing the reduction with this diisobutyl aluminium hydride, followed by hydrolysis, we get aldehyde. Now this reaction you all have studied. Now after that what we are doing is we are providing PHMgBr. This is basically Grignard reagent, and Grignard on seeing the carbonyl group will get excited and attacks on this carbonyl. So here we have CHO, which is having a deficient center here, and here I have Grignard reagent, that is PH minus MgBr plus, and this group will attack here and this pi electron migrates here, and finally we get O minus pH, and then again we are doing the hydrolysis, so my compound gets converted into pH COH H pH. Now in the next part what we are doing is we are treating it with MnO2. Now we know MnO2 basically oxidizes the allylic or benzylic hydroxyl group to aldehyde or ketone. So here what we have is we are having a benzylic hydroxyl group which gets oxidized by MnO2 and we get this compound, that is benzophenone. Now after that what is happening is we are treating it with cyclopentadienyl anion and then we are heating it. So finally what we are doing is we are treating it with cyclopentadienyl anion. Again it attacks here, this moves here, and we get PHC O minus and pH. Now this carbon is acidic and finally this gets converted into pH COH, and here we are having this. And after that, as we are heating it, there is E1CB mechanism, and because of the E1CB mechanism there is dehydration, and after dehydration what we obtain is C double bond this compound. Now if I draw the structure, it looks something like this. We have a phenyl group, C double bond C, here we have 5-membered ring and again a phenyl ring. Now the question is asking for the degree of unsaturation in the compound B. So my compound B is the final product and the question is asking for its degree of unsaturation. Now the degree of unsaturation is basically the number of pi bonds and the rings in the compound. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pi bonds plus I am having 1, 2 and 3 rings. So if I add it, we will get 12. So this 12 is the degree of unsaturation in this compound. So the question is easy. Not that easy, but yeah, you can approach the question easily. So here the question is 100 ml 1 molar calcium chloride solution with density 1.111 gram per cc is mixed with 400 ml of a 1 molar Na2CO3 solution. So here we are mixing two solutions. One is having volume 100 ml and the other is having 400 ml. with density this to give a resulting solution with density. Now, if you see here, the density of these three solutions are different, and that is the catch in the question, because many a times what you do is when you are calculating the molarity in the final solution, because the question is asking for the molarity of carbonate ion in the resulting solution in mole per decimeter cube. So while calculating molarity, what we do is we basically calculate the number of moles and divide it by the total volume, that is 100 plus 400, and that is incorrect. Why? Because here the densities are different. If densities are different, you can see you cannot add the total volumes, because volumes are not additive, masses are additive. So first what we have to do is we have to calculate the masses of these solutions. We will add them, we will get the final mass, and from there with the help of density we will calculate the volume of that final solution, and from there we calculate the molarity. Now the other thing is, here we are reacting calcium chloride with sodium carbonate. Now these two react and form calcium carbonate, and calcium carbonate is precipitated out, so we cannot calculate the carbonate ion molarity from calcium carbonate. We have to take only that carbonate which is present in the form of Na2CO3. So let's begin the question. So here I am having 100 ml of 1 molal. Now 1 molal means I am having 1 mole in 1000 grams solvent. Also I can say that 1 mole of calcium chloride weigh 111 grams. And if I add to this, to the mass of solvent, I will get the mass of solution, and this comes out as 1111 gram of solution, and in this 1111 gram I am having 1 mole calcium chloride. Now here we are having 100 ml of the solution. You can see the density is 1.111. Mass of solution is this. So from there I can calculate the volume, that what is the volume of this 1111 gram solution. So volume is mass divided by density, and that is 1000 ml. Now 1000 ml of the solution is having 1 mole, but I am having only 100 ml. So I can say one thing, that my 100 ml contains only 0.1 mole calcium chloride. Okay, so this is the first part. Second part is I am having Na2CO3. So we can do the same thing with Na2CO3, that there also I am having 1 molar Na2CO3 solution. Now the molar mass of Na2CO3 is 106. Now 1 molar, again I can write it here, that 1 mole in 1000 grams solvent, or 1 mole in 1106 gram of solution, because the mass of Na2CO3 is 106. And after that I can say that the density that has been given to us is 1.3825. And when I calculate the volume for this mass, volume is 1106 gram divided by 1.3825, and this comes out as 800 ml. Now 800 ml contains 1 mole, so I can say one thing, that I am having only 400 ml. 400 ml of solutions, so I am having 0.5 mole of sodium carbonate. So we know the moles of sodium carbonate and calcium chloride. Now we do the chemical reaction, that we have calcium chloride which reacts with Na2CO3 and gives calcium carbonate which precipitates out plus NaCl. Now you can see from here that I am having 0.1 mole of this and 0.5 mole of this. And here my calcium chloride is the limiting reagent, so it gets exhausted, and the remains of Na2CO3 is 0.4 mole. So this is the leftover reagent. Whereas calcium carbonate formed is 0.1 mole, but we do not calculate carbonate ion concentration from this one. So carbonate is coming from this one only, and the moles of carbonate is 0.4 mole. Now the final task is to calculate the total volume. Now total volume is basically calculated by adding the mass that I have told you earlier, that first we will calculate the total mass and then we will calculate the volume. So the total mass you can see here is that we are having 1111 gram of solution is 1 mole. So 0.1 mole, because we are having only 0.1 mole, and that is present in 111.1 gram. Similarly, here I have 1106 gram of solution in which we have 1 mole. But in actual we have only 400 ml, it means half of that. So half of the mass, and half of the mass of 1106 is 553. So I have 553 gram from mass of Na2CO3 solution and 111.1 gram from calcium chloride solution. On adding these two, I have 466.1 gram. So this is the total mass of solution, and the final density that has been given to us is 1.2822. 1.2822 gram per cc. Now we have total mole, we have total mass and density. So molarity is what? Molarity is number of moles divided by the volume of solution in liter, and volume of solution is mass divided by density, and this is the molarity of the solution, and this comes out as, and we have to divide it by 1000 also, because this is basically in grams, this is gram per cc, and this comes out in ml. So if I divide it by 1000, it becomes liter, and from there, if we do the calculation, this comes out around 8 in integral value. So that is 0.77 or 0.78, but we need the nearest integral value, and that is 8. So this is all about the question. Now moving on to the next question. So in this question, we have been given on decomposition of 3.9 kg of sodium azide at 1 bar and 300 Kelvin gives nitrogen gas. Now you know that sodium azide is used in your airbags. Okay, so this compound dissociates and gives sodium and nitrogen gas. And the volume of N2 that is produced is x liter, the value of x by 100 is. Now this question looks easy. Yes, it is easy. But here, one more factor has been introduced, that is compression factor for N2 at 300 Kelvin and 1 bar is 0.9. Now here they have introduced gaseous state also. So let's start solving this question. So first thing is, whenever we have such question, just write the balanced equation. We have NaN3 and it dissociates to give sodium and nitrogen gas. If I balance this equation, this becomes 2Na plus 3N2, which is in gaseous state. Now, the mass of sodium azide that has been given to us is 3.9 kg. That has been the initial. And after the decomposition, finally, I can say we do not have this one. We have 3900 grams. And now this 3900 grams, if I convert them to moles, it becomes 3900 divided by 65, which is basically 60 into 3 divided by 2. Okay, so this is basically 60 into 3 by 2, that becomes 90 moles. So it means I have 90 moles of nitrogen gas. Now after formation of nitrogen, we know the amount or the moles of nitrogen. Then we have to apply our PV is equals to nRT, but here we cannot apply PV is equals to nRT because the gas is behaving as a real gas. If you want to apply PV is equals to nRT, you can apply. You calculate V ideal from there, but then you have to do what? You have to apply Z is equals to V real upon V ideal. So we can solve this question by two methods. One is PV is equals to Z nRT, or one thing is you calculate V ideal, then you do Z is equals to V real upon V ideal. Now here the pressure is given as 1 bar, volume we have to calculate. Z has been given to us, that is 0.9, moles of gas we know, that is 90, R is given as 0.08, and temperature that is given to us is 300 Kelvin. Now we have to calculate volume, that is 0.9 into 90 into 0.08 into 300, and that value is, so this is 3 is 24, so this is 249981 into 24, that is 1944 liters. But the question is asking what is the value of x by 100. Here I have calculated x, so this x by 100 becomes 19.44. So this will be the answer.